What is up, y'all? Got a little visitor. Sheesh.
Taking it back to 2020.
Oh,
2020.
all the way back. Do we need to pull the fridge out again? Put a Modelo in there?
You made the right choice.
Sheesh. But it's gonna be a little simple, easy one. I know y'all are ready to see this thing out, but we got some buttoning up to do. If y'all didn't watch the last video, which looks like a lot of y'all didn't, y'all should go back and watch that. But we got the 6.0 fired up. It runs, it makes good oil pressure, and it makes no noise. So I think she's gonna be a good candidate. So anyways, part of buttoning it up is I'm gonna get the radiator in here, get the fans hooked back up, get our heater core lines hooked up, and then I'm gonna get our power steering lines hooked up. And then I got a little vacation week coming up here in a couple weeks. And if y'all remember, I said I had to do a catch can and I'm gonna redo the fuel line. So I've got all that shit on order and that's coming. So I plan on, in a couple weeks, I'm gonna take the bed back off and get the fuel system all switched out with some nice AN hoses and get all that straightened up, because we can't have no fuel leaks. It'd be a shame if this thing burned down, because I know y'all'd love to see it, but I am not going through setting all this up in another truck. I'm not. This is a one-time deal. I got patience to do it one time and one time only, so this the one. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna set y'all up on a time lapse. It's pretty simple stuff. We've mounted it all up before. This is my little cradle. Got some little rubber hose I cut to sit down on there, and this stuff was in here before, so there's nothing really trick or no fab or nothing I got to do. So I'm gonna set y'all up on time lapse, so any of y'all that missed it can see it. Y'all got any questions, let me know, and I'll link y'all into the video when I did all this the first time. But yeah, let me get the time lapse going and let's get her some coolant. got it done. Got the radiator in. The upper and lower radiator hoses hooked up. I had to make a new steam port hose. The one I had went to the short side of the throttle body, and then I had the little, the little piece from the other side of the throttle body to the steam port. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going straight from steam port to the radiator. So I luckily had just enough hose that wasn't kinked all to heck, and cut a fresh piece up. And then we got our heater core lines hooked up, got our overflow tank hooked back up, and I put 3 whole gallons of coolant in here, and I was like, crap, that ain't enough. I looked it up. It's like 16.7 quarts, which is 4 and some change gallons. So I'm gonna run to O'Reilly's another day after work and get another couple gallons just in case, and get the radiator topped off, because I filled up the block all the way to the water neck. I always do that first. I learned that the hard way a while back. Anytime you're changing a radiator, anything like that, water pump, whatever, always fill the water neck up on the engine block first. And that way, that gives you the best chance of not trapping an air bubble in there, because you filled the block up first the slow way, and then fill up your radiator and then go from there. But anywho, got to come back on that. Got the power steering lines hooked up, and I cut, instead of having the loop in there like I did before, I actually just cut the hose and made it the proper length on the low pressure side. Left a little extra so there wasn't like a kink in it right here or nothing, so it's got plenty of roundness to the curve. And then we got both ends of this tightened up, because I remembered this was loose for the longest time, but they're both snug now. Unfortunately, this is a 99 to 06 power steering pump, and I could get the line inside of this bracket, but then I couldn't get the end to manipulate. I was bottoming out on the bottom of the tank. So I think that's because these are lines that are original to the OBS, and I think they're manipulated just a little bit different. And I didn't want to bend them because it was kind of hard getting that fitting in, and something was just bad juju. I was getting bad vibes, so I was like, I'm just gonna leave it alone, get that bracket out the way, and get them hooked up. So that's what I did. Filled it up with some fresh power steering fluid. So other than what's inside that gearbox, ooh, I just saw a drip. Why did I see a drip? That little green plug's leaking. Shit, I wonder what's supposed to go in there. Hopefully I have a bolt that threads in there and I can just cap that hoe off, but well, there goes a 2/3 of a quart of power steering fluid. Damn it, boy. Alright, well, we'll address that another day. But yeah, anyways, other than that, got the serpentine belt on. The one I had before was just fine, didn't have any cracks, didn't look dry rotted or anything, so we're going to run it and hope for the best. And then I did also bolt up our little arm on the intake here, so it's kind of bolted in place, it's not just flopping around. And yeah, so now I need to, the next things are going to be, I'm going to order the catch can. If that comes in, I may put that in on the next video, not sure. And then I've got to order some fuel line, some AN line, and start pulling the bed off again. My least favorite thing to do. And all right, look, here's what I've talked myself through. Y'all be proud of me. I was thinking about this since the last video, and I was like, ooh, well, that's just the feed side dripping, and the feed side stops at the fuel filter right here under the driver door. And I was like, well, I could just replace just that section of hose, which I still might do, I don't know. Might just replace just that part, but if I'm gonna do that, I might as well do it all and just get it all done and right, and not have to deal with it again for the foreseeable future. So I don't know, boys, but yeah, it's probably best just to take that off, because another thing I could do when I took the bed off is how we were still hitting on the C-notch. James asked me why I didn't grind off the perches for the U-bolts. How, like, when you do your flip kit, those perches are still on top of the axle, and he said he grinded his off and he never hit. So he did have a different kit which had a different C-notch and all that, but that is one free thing I can try, is getting a cutoff wheel after that in a grinder and grinding the U-bolt perches off of the top of the axle and see if that helps me not hit anymore. I don't know. So yeah, the bed probably does need to come off, but anyways, nonetheless, we got a good portion done. Looks like we got a little fix to take care of, and then other than that, getting the fuel lines changed out, getting a catch can on there, that's really it. And then I'm gonna try to figure out if I can get a mobile welder to come here to the house that's capable of welding in the bung for the wideband, because I really want this in before I get it tuned. Just that way we have a wideband right there. But yeah, no, I need to take the bed off because I need to change the fuel lines. I need to grind those perches off, and having the bed off will enable me to pump the fuel out, and I need to do that just to get all this old fuel out of here, start fresh intake, fresh lines, catch can, fuel lines, all that, and fresh gas that's not 2 years old. So yeah, that needs to be done. So plan on that being the next video. Again, if y'all didn't watch the startup video and y'all want to hear this thing run, watch the last video. I'll link it in the description of this one just to make it more convenient for you. But yeah, we're getting close. We're getting close. I'm definitely trying to put some miles on this thing this summer and come out to some meets. Maybe travel a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, peace out, be human, and we'll see you guys on the next one.